I'm here to tell you that it doesn't always make sense to scan all your records, but sometimes it's an absolute no-brainer. If you run a Google search on what it costs to store a record, you're going to get all kinds of stats that say things like it costs $50 a year to store a record, or it's $1,400 per filing cabinet per year to store your records. When I read those stats, I immediately think I'm being sold something, these stats seem skewed, and I immediately dismiss them. Based on my experience, sometimes storing records costs people nothing. They own the building, they're not using the space, these records are never accessed, they would do nothing differently with the space if they were using it for something else. In these cases, it literally does cost these people nothing. The flip side of that is there's companies that store records that actually cost them a lot more than those stats. Those are people that have to access the records often, they're in expensive office space and are using expensive office space to store records. Maybe their clients call them on a regular basis and they have to grab those records, they're lost, multiple people need to access them. In these cases, it could cost far more than those original stats to store a record for a year. Before you decide you want to digitize everything, you might want to start by asking yourself a few questions. Of all my documents, which ones never get touched and which ones do we have to access almost every single day? Who has to access these documents? Which ones perhaps are a year away from hitting their document retention cycle and we can destroy them? Is quick and easy access to these documents going to help me provide a better customer experience? You should ask yourself what your appetite is for errors. You could certainly hire temps to get this project done, or you could hire professionals, and you're going to get the results correlating to each of those options. You should ask yourself how you need to access these documents later. What are the nice-to-have features versus the need-to-have features? There are plenty of more questions to ask, but it all boils down to this. Sometimes it does not make sense to scan your records, but other times it's an absolute no-brainer.